Russian and Ukrainian forces are fighting in the streets of Bakhmut, but Russia does not control the eastern city, its deputy mayor has said. Alexander Marchenko has told the BBC that not a single building had remained untouched and that the city is almost destroyed. Bakhmut has seen months of fighting and is now almost totally encircled by Russian forces. Well, a little earlier, I spoke to our diplomatic correspondent James Landale in Kyiv, and I began by asking him about the relative positions of the Russian and Ukrainian forces in and around the city.
The fighting is fierce, the fighting is hard. Overnight, President Zelensky said that it was the toughest of battles that was both painful and challenging. There are reports of the Russian forces are continuing to make very small incremental gains. They hold positions in the north and the south and the east. The Ukrainians hold largely the center. They have access to the west, but the Russians are attempting to encircle at the moment. But every inch of territory is clearly very hard fought. British military officials say that they've had reports that, in some occasions, Russian forces have been making assaults on Ukrainian positions, armed solely with their firearms and their spades, which Russian forces have traditionally also used in the equivalent way that a bayonet will be used by other forces. In other words, an indication of just how close the combat is on the ground in this battle that is now the longest battle in this war so far. This has been going on now in Bakhmut for well over 6 months now.
And just remind our viewers, James, if you would, about the significance of this location. Is it hugely strategically important, or is this now almost about symbolism, given that it's been going on for so long? It is a battle of wills between the Ukrainians and the Russians.
Yes, it's a battle of wills, but there are also different motivations on both sides. Russia has clearly chosen Bakhmut to be a place where it wants to focus its forces. The Kremlin is in dire need of some kind of success, so seizing Bakhmut would be a victory, it would be a trophy, something to talk about. They also, Russian strategists, see it as a springboard, an attempt to gain further territory in the Donbass. It is the traditional Russian military playbook. You bombard a city, you send in forces, you take it, and then you move on to the next one and slowly, incrementally make gains. That is the Russian aim here. But many thousands of Russians are dying, and that is Ukraine's aim. Ukraine's aim is to defend here and degrade Russia's military capability.